This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
It is 5 o'clock here on your Tuesday. Good morning to you. I'm Lauren Casey. Here's what's making headlines on this April 21st. Governor Holcomb has extended the state's stay-at-home order, but says progress is being made. What the extension means for you and when we can expect to see things get back to normal. And a local woman whose husband is behind bars says Indiana prisons are breeding grounds for the coronavirus. Hear their message and the prison officials who are responding. And the Whitestown Fire Department is making emergency situations less overwhelming for children with autism. The new tools they're using to help. But before we get to those top stories, we first need to get a check of our Storm Team 6 forecast with Todd Clausen. Todd, good morning. What can folks expect as they head out the door today?
Lauren, good morning to you. Good morning, everybody. As you walk out the door, it's not bad temperature-wise right now, and you may think, all right, we're in the 50s right now. Some of you are in the 40s. We're in great shape for the day, and it's not a bad day by any means. The problem is a cold front's going through right now, and that's going to take the temperatures downward here this morning into the mid-40s, and then it's just a slow rebound back up into the 50s later on this afternoon. With that said, plenty of sunshine, so have the sunglasses, the sunscreen as well, and I do think you'll need to have that light jacket not only this morning but at least into the afternoon hours as well. Here's where we stand right now. 48 in Tipton, 53 in Martinsville, 55 is the current temperature in the Bloomington area, 49 over in Richmond. Throughout the day today, you can see a little bit of cloud cover on the satellite radar picture right now, and there's been a few specks of green here with a few sprinkles across the area. That's the cold front that's currently moving through right now. The clouds, if you do look out your window and you see them here this morning, they'll move out pretty quickly. And then we'll be into the sunshine. So it's a sun-filled day, Lauren. It's just a little bit cooler than we saw yesterday, with temperatures today getting into the low to mid-50s.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. We're keeping a close eye on traffic as you're heading out on the roads. We mentioned this yesterday morning, and it's still in effect today. We have that ongoing construction on the near south side, I-65 here over Keystone Avenue, the bridge there. We do have that major traffic shift in place. So as you're heading northbound on I-65 and you get to Keystone Avenue, the exit ramp does remain open, but it splits off. Traffic continuing northbound on I-65 will have to shift all the way over left to the southbound side of the interstate. All the northbound side is closed at that area. Southbound traffic is restricted down to 1 to 2 lanes in that area. Again, exits do remain open, but use caution as you head through that area.
Very methodically, very data-driven, and we'll get to that point to where we're back at work when it's safe to be there.
Governor Eric Holcomb giving an update on the Hunker Down Hoosiers effort as we continue to monitor the effect of the coronavirus pandemic and what it's having on the Hoosier state. Yesterday, the state stay-at-home order was officially extended, but the governor did announce some changes, easing up on certain restrictions. One of those changes, the return of elective surgeries. Starting today, hospitals can do procedures that diagnose, screen, and treat medical conditions like cancer or heart issues. That could expand to other medical practices around the state. Next Monday, if the numbers keep going in the right direction, Holcomb says there's an adequate supply of personal protective equipment, and he also praised Hoosiers for the progress we've all made.
You are practicing, in large part, good physical distancing practices, and you're slowing the spread, you're flattening the curve. We see this around most of the state of Indiana.
During Monday's update, the governor also clarified that nurseries, greenhouses, and pet groomers can already be open. Across the country, some other states are also preparing to end stay-at-home restrictions. This, as health officials say, the coronavirus remains a significant threat. John Lawrence has the latest.
Georgia getting ready to reopen during the COVID-19 pandemic. Governor Brian Kemp says some companies like fitness centers, bowling alleys, and hair salons can start unlocking their doors Friday, even though he acknowledges cases will increase.
Many of these places that are at home going broke, worried about whether they can feed their children, make the mortgage payment.
Atlanta's mayor says she understands the desire to get back up and running, but
we're talking about this economic pull and getting to recovery. If we're not alive on the other side of it, then there won't be a recovery to be had.
As Georgia and other states, including South Carolina and Tennessee, move toward reopening, health officials say they're concerned.
What we don't want to do is recreate the conditions that led to us all having to stay home in the first place and having our healthcare systems be overwhelmed. And so that's why it's so important that we move move cautiously and thoughtfully about how and when to reopen.
President Trump says the U.S. will do that.
It's critical to continue the medical war while reopening the economy in a safe and responsible fashion.
The president also invoking what he calls the invisible enemy and the need to protect American jobs, tweeting Monday night that he will sign an executive order that will temporarily suspend immigration into the United States. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
There's no word yet on when President Trump's suspension will be signed or how long it'll last. It's also unclear how the order will be carried out. The loss of several big events due to COVID-19 concerns has a major impact on the tourism industry right here in Indianapolis. But experts say that Indiana is actually one of the luckier states when it comes to tourism and the impact due to COVID-19. Our Alyssa Donovan explains.
Like most states, Indiana's tourism industry has taken a major hit due to the COVID-19 pandemic, rescheduling of the Indy 500 and cancellation of sports events. But experts say Indiana is actually one of the lucky states when it comes to the impact on tourism.
So right now, Indiana is not as affected by the tourism and travel industry, simply due to numbers.
While visitor spending in 2019 accounted for $9.3 billion in total economic impact, Indiana has several other industries still picking up the slack.
So at least, this one industry has the Midwest a little bit safeguarded. And since we do still need things like the agriculture industry, manufacturing industry, that's actually better news for the Midwest.
Other states like Florida, Nevada, and Hawaii, whose economy depend heavily on tourism, are going to have a bigger challenge to return to normalcy.
Losing this chunk of time alone is detrimental to their economy.
While not as devastating, Indiana has seen major losses too. The Big Ten tournament was expected to bring in $15 million to the city of Indianapolis. The NCAA tournament close to $40 million. And rescheduling the Indy 500 could mean far less turnout than the typical 300,000 fans who flocked to the city in past years. There are more than 150,000 people who work in tourism here in Indiana. All of those people are being greatly impacted by these closures and cancellations. However, there is a silver lining. Indiana has a better chance of a quicker recovery than some other states because we have other support from different industries. I'm Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. The time now is 5:07. The coronavirus pandemic is also impacting the country's agriculture sector. The last week, the White House announcing a $19 billion program to help farmers rebound from the coronavirus outbreak. And this morning, RTV6 is learning more about the crisis and how it's hurting Indiana's agriculture industry. Dennis Frey runs the Shelby County Co-op, serving more than 600 farmers in 8 surrounding counties. He says the pandemic is forcing farmers to sit on their crops that they can't move or sell.
Very concerned about basically, how long is this thing going to play out? We're in uncharted territory, no precedent to go by.
Well, federal officials say the coronavirus food assistance program will provide $16 billion in direct support to farmers, ranchers, and agricultural producers. The USDA will buy $3 billion worth of products and distribute them to food banks and other nonprofit organizations across the country. At 5:08, 2 recent COVID-19 victims were inmates from the Plainfield Correctional Facility, both men in their 60s. Since the pandemic began, we received multiple messages from people who are scared for their loved ones who are behind bars right now. And our Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning with what the Department of Corrections is doing to keep inmates safe. Kelsey.
Hey, good morning, Lauren. So right now, there are 221 confirmed COVID-19 cases in Indiana prisons, and 3 inmates have died from the virus. 83 employees have also tested positive, but the Department of Corrections does not release details on staff conditions or the locations where they've tested positive. The Indiana Department of Corrections did, however, post this video on YouTube detailing some of the things they're doing to keep inmates safe. Right now, visitors and volunteers are not allowed into the facilities, and any sick employees are not allowed to work, and they are taking the recommended CDC precautions.
We continue to reinforce with staff and offender alike to follow personal hygiene best practices recommended by the Indiana State Department of Health and the Center for Disease Control.
They've also stopped inmates who were on work crews or work release from leaving the facility. The Indiana Department of Corrections says they're doing deep cleanings of all of their prisons, and they do have a plan in place if there is for inmates who are symptomatic, even if it is on a larger scale. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you. The Whitestown Fire Department is taking steps to make emergency situations less overwhelming for children with autism. The fire department, along with the Behavior Analysis Center for Autism in Whitestown, developed these comfort kits to use during the stressful emergency situations. The goal is to keep children with autism calm and to reduce noise and to help kids communicate better with first responders. The comfort kits include noise-canceling headphones, sunglasses to shield kids from scary sights, sensory toys, and a weighted blanket. It is 5:10. Let's toss things over to Todd, who's at home, reporting on our forecast. What can we expect for our Tuesday, Todd?
You know, a lot of sunshine in the forecast today, Lauren. That is the good news. A little bit cooler, though, than it was yesterday. So we're not going to be into the mid-60s. Yesterday's high was 65. Today, probably going to be about 10 degrees cooler across the area. Now, as you walk out the door this morning, you're walking out to temperatures that are sitting right around 50 degrees. However, notice the trend as we get closer to 8 a.m. We drop down into the mid to upper 40s. That's because there is a cold front that is currently working its way through the area. The front's essentially going through dry. There could be a few sprinkles across parts of eastern Indiana this morning, but nothing of consequence. But because this cold front is going through, our temperatures will continue to fall this morning into the 40s, and then we only rebound a couple degrees later on this afternoon to highs, as you see here, that will be in the low to mid 50s. A little breezy today as well, so it's not a picture perfect day, Lauren, but by no means is it a bad weather day for us because it's dry, it's bright and sunny. So just grab the sunglasses and the jacket if you're going to be out and about throughout the day today.
That was the moment where we were able to say very clearly, hold on, this isn't going right. We need to help the government do it better.
Shake Shack's founder and CEO is speaking out after receiving $10 million from the Small Business Association. Coming up, why he's now giving that money back. And U.S. oil prices plummeted Monday, ending the day in the negative. Straight ahead, how that's affecting the price you pay at the pump. It is 5:12. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Millionaire, Wednesday on ABC.
Welcome back. Small businesses in need of financial help now have somewhere to turn. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce began taking applications for grants from its new Save Small Business Fund on Monday. The grants of up to $5,000 are available to businesses with no more than 20 employees and economically vulnerable communities. The application period opens at 3 o'clock this afternoon. You can find out more information on our website on your screen at savesmallbusiness.com. We're getting more insight into the Paycheck Protection Program, and according to the Small Business Administration, nearly 36,000 Hoosier businesses were approved for the PPP. The original $349 billion in the Paycheck Protection Program provided forgivable loans to small businesses, and it was quickly exhausted. The SBA says 35,990 Indiana businesses were approved for those loans for a total of nearly $7.5 billion. That money must be used to keep employees paid. Coming up in the 6 o'clock hour, we'll talk to one local business that received their funds and was able to keep more than a dozen employees on the job. A major company that caught heat for accepting funds from the Small Business Loan Program is giving the money back. Shake Shack says it will return the $10 million it got from the Paycheck Protection Program. Founder and CEO Randy Garudi announced his business was able to access the money in other ways. He also said he hopes that the money would be used to pay it forward to other small businesses.
By returning our $10 million, that $10 million now can go back into the pot, can go to the people who deserve it, and we hope can go help inspire the next round. As you're seeing
plans to provide more money to the program could take a step forward today. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has set up a special afternoon session to try to pass an interim funding deal by unanimous consent. The collapse in oil markets is showing no signs of easing. On Monday, U.S. oil prices plunged, falling below zero to nearly negative $38 a barrel. That's the lowest level since oil futures began trading back in 1983. With people driving and traveling less due to the coronavirus pandemic, demand has also dropped, and now producers are running out of places to store their excess barrels of crude oil. The drop in price can affect what you pay at the pump, but it will likely not cause a huge shift. That's because several other layers of costs, including refinement, transportation, and various state taxes, have to be factored in. United Airlines is using its sales slump to give back. The company is using one of its empty cargo facilities to help distribute food. It started when a baggage handler at George Bush Intercontinental Airport in Houston saw a note from the Houston Food Bank asking for help. He knew the organization was running out of money, and United had plenty of extra cargo space. So now hundreds of United employees are sorting and distributing relief packages. They process up to 6,000 of them a day. United is planning to do the same thing at its cargo facility in San Francisco. Great idea there. All right, let's get a check of our weather headlines. Todd Clausen is standing by. Todd, what can we expect out there?
You know, it's another sun-filled day for us. That's always good news, right, Lauren? It's a little bit cooler today than it was yesterday. Yesterday, we were in the mid-60s. Today, we'll probably only get back up into the mid-50s, and it's a little breezy as well. But warmer temperatures come right back during the day tomorrow with highs that'll be climbing, maybe for some of you, to around 70 degrees. Right now, 40s and 50s across the area. A pair of nickels there in Bloomington, 49 in Crawfordsville, 52 is the current temperature in Greenfield. And Storm Team 6 radar is nice and quiet for us right now. We'll go over to the eastern side of the state here. There were a few sprinkles earlier, but it looks like they have now faded away. So from this point forward, we'll take any mention of some showers or sprinkles out of the forecast. This front essentially going through completely dry. A lot of that stuff, as far as the rain goes, wasn't even making it to the ground anyway. And then back off to the west. Look at this. This is a huge pocket of clear skies, and that's the sunshine that we will be enjoying not only today, but into the day tomorrow as well. Throughout the day today, it will be a little bit breezy. We'll notice the winds gust up to about 20 miles per hour at times. That's not terrible, not enough to cause any damage or anything like that, but it is enough to be maybe a little bit of an inconvenience if you're going to be out and about. And notice the temperatures. It's just a slow climb today, back up into the low to mid 50s for us. So you'll definitely need to have the jacket. Temperatures tonight will be a little bit cooler with skies that'll be partly cloudy. If you're planning on grilling out, you'll be able to do that, no problem. You just kind of have to maybe eat the food inside compared to outside on the picnic table, but definitely able to fire up that grill. Now tomorrow, here's the forecast. It starts off chilly, and we're in the 30s, and some of you tomorrow morning could be below freezing, but throughout the day, we'll warm up very quickly, and we'll get the temperature up to about 67 degrees here in Indianapolis. Some of you south of Indianapolis, Bloomington, Columbus, Seymour, Bedford, over towards the Nashville area, you'll probably get close to 70 degrees tomorrow. The clouds will increase tomorrow, and then you notice by Thursday morning on TrueCast, we're dealing with some rain returning to the area, and we'll deal with some rain showers off and on throughout the day on Thursday. Then we get a little bit of a break Thursday night into Friday morning, and Friday could actually start off with some sunshine, and then another round of rain will be coming in Friday night into the day on Saturday. So we're talking about a decent forecast today. It's dry, and we're dry through tomorrow, but then we'll start to see these showers start to move in, Lauren, as we work our way into the end of the week. So if you want to get in some of those longer walks here, potentially all dry throughout the area, today and tomorrow will be those 2 days before that rain returns.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. A basketball jersey worn by Michael Jordan during his stint on the Dream Team has been auctioned off for $216,000. Jordan wore number 9 jersey during the 1992 Olympics in Barcelona, where Team USA cruised to gold. Jordan himself signed the jersey, writing "Best wishes, Michael Jordan." Besides MJ, the Dream Team also included Magic Johnson, Charles Barkley, and Patrick Ewing. It's considered to be the best basketball squad that ever played together. ESPN recently debuted a 10-part documentary detailing Jordan's life on the court titled "The Last Dance." Jordan says he plans to donate proceeds from the highly watched series to charity. Kevin Hart just pledged $1 million to the All In Challenge. He's also auctioning off a speaking role in one of his next films. The challenge was created by Philadelphia 76ers owner Michael Rubin. It is bringing together some of the biggest stars from the sports and entertainment worlds to raise money for hunger relief programs. For his part, Rubin is auctioning off the ultimate sports package, which includes tickets to some of the biggest sporting events, including the Super Bowl, the NBA Finals, the World Series, and the Olympic opening ceremony. Pretty cool. Well, a Brown County community is showing its appreciation for healthcare workers who are on the front lines of the coronavirus pandemic. Coming up, the sweet gesture that's popping up all over town. And at 5:30, the coronavirus pandemic is not stopping one farmer's market from offering fresh local produce. The creative way the Fisher's Farmers Market is helping you get what you need. It is 5:22. Stick around. We'll be right back.
live on CourtTV.com.
Welcome back. A new effort to show support for healthcare workers. If you head down to Brown County, you'll see trees in Nashville embraced with white ribbons. The Brown County Convention and Visitors Bureau says it wants to send a big thank you to all those who are risking so much for the health and well-being of others. The white ribbon movement is popping up all across the country. There's even a website encouraging homeowners to put white ribbons on their trees. All right, Todd, let's get a check of our forecast. It is Tuesday. We started the week off with sunshine, warmer temperatures. What can we expect today?
You know, the temperatures are going to be a little bit cooler. In fact, we're in the process of dropping the temperatures right now. Here's a live look outside, and you can't see it much, obviously, because it is dark outside. But the temperatures are going to be dropping throughout the course of the morning hours, and eventually by this afternoon, we're going to see temperatures get back up only into the low 50s to the north, mid 50s to the south. So our high temperatures have already occurred for the day today. The temperatures will again rebound a little bit, but before they start to do, we probably get close to the low 40s this morning. The good news is it's a sun-filled day for us. We'll talk more about today and look ahead to the rest of the week and the return of some rain eventually coming up in your Storm Team 6 forecast. The time now is 5:27. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on RTV 6.
Make a donation or volunteer today.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now at 5:30 on Good Morning Indiana, Governor Holcomb has officially extended Indiana's stay-at-home order through May 1st. Working for you, we're breaking down the updated order, including plans to start reopening Indiana's economy. And a graduating senior at Center Grove High School is connecting people in need with his classmates who can help. This morning, how he put his skills to use to help serve his community. But first, before we get to our top stories here on our Tuesday, we got to get a check of our forecast. Todd Clausen is standing by right now with what we can expect as we head out the door on this Tuesday. Hey, Todd.
And Lauren, good morning to you. Good morning, everybody. It's not a bad day for us today. It's not quite as warm as it was yesterday, so we're not going to experience that again, but we do keep the sunshine from start to finish. Temperatures right now are sitting in the 40s and 50s, ranging from 45 to the north in Peru, as well as tipped into 55 in Bloomington, as well as Terre Haute and the Sullivan area. 49 is the current temperature over in Richmond. As we work our way throughout the day today, our temperatures will actually continue to fall here this morning, even though we get off to a nice sunny start. And that's because a cold front is currently working its way through the area. So it's warmer right now at 5:30, and then it is going to be at 9 a.m. with a temperature of 43 degrees by the time we get to that point in the morning. There's a little bit of cloud cover this morning. That's just a front coming through. Could have been a sprinkle overnight in your neighborhood, nothing more than that. And going forward throughout the day today, it's sunny from start to finish. It will be a little breezy once this front goes through, so you'll notice that. But all in all, not a bad day, just a little bit below normal. Highs eventually this afternoon get back up to right around 54 degrees. But tomorrow, potentially 70 degrees for some of you. More on that coming up in just a little bit. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Here's a look right now on the Near East Side. I-70, a view here near Rural Street and Keystone Avenue. You can see traffic moving westbound right now. It's pretty quiet, traveling up to speed. Eastbound lanes are closed for that long-term INDOT project set to reopen sometime mid-May. Just a heads up, we have a scheduled closure of westbound lanes by 70 as well for about 30 days. Right now, it's looking like that's going to happen on Friday morning, so just keep that in mind as part of your commute. You can take Washington Street or another street in from the east side instead. This morning, there are some new guidelines now in effect for the state of Indiana. Governor Eric Holcomb announcing a new executive order to address the evolving challenges of the COVID-19 crisis. That includes beginning to ease some of the restrictions. Starting today, Holcomb says elective medical procedures can resume. That includes diagnosing, screening, and treating conditions like cancer and heart issues. He also formally extended the state's stay-at-home order through May 1st. The announcement comes just days after demonstrators gathered outside of the governor's residence in protest of the restrictions.
I totally get the anxiety and the impatience and the desire to get back out there and get back out the way things used to be. There will be a new normal, and we will get there, and we're on the right path. That's the somewhat frustrating thing is, for the most part in the state of Indiana, we're on the right path.
During the press conference, the governor also clarified that nurseries, greenhouses, and pet groomers can already be open. Right now, Indiana has 11,686 positive COVID-19 cases in our state. More than 4,000 of those are in Marion County. In the latest report from the Indiana State Department of Health, 7 new deaths have been reported. That's the lowest day-to-day increase in several days. A total of 569 deaths have been confirmed across the state. 2 recent COVID-19 victims were inmates from a Plainfield Correctional Facility, both men in their 60s. Since this pandemic began, we've received multiple messages from people who are scared for their loved ones who are behind bars. Our Kelsey Anderson is joining us live this morning with what one woman says her husband is dealing with at an Indiana prison. Kelsey.
Hey, good morning, Lauren. So there was protests last weekend, and there'll be another one this weekend, of people saying that more inmates should be released right now during this pandemic. The woman we spoke to says that her husband is currently at an Indiana prison, and she doesn't think that enough is being done. Now, we aren't naming that prison Tracy Claycamp's husband is at, but she says it's a breeding ground for the virus. According to her husband, Claycamp says they aren't being given materials to sanitize their areas, and they aren't able to practice social distancing.
You're lucky if you've got 3 feet between you and the other bunk. The state is responsible for the inmate, and they're supposed to take care of that inmate regardless of why they're there.
The Indiana Department of Corrections did post a video on YouTube explaining what they're doing to keep inmates safe. Visitors and volunteers are not allowed to come into the facility. Sick employees aren't able to come to work, and inmates on work release are not allowed to leave. Right now, there are 221 confirmed COVID-19 cases across Indiana's prisons, and 3 inmates have died, and 83 employees have also tested positive for the coronavirus. Working for you, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you. And RTV6 is focusing on Indiana's rebound in the wake of the coronavirus pandemic. Join us for a virtual forum with the Department of Workforce Development's top leaders on Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. You can join the discussion, ask questions about getting back to work and making ends meet. It's all on the RTV6 Facebook page and also at the IndyChannel.com. Well, Indiana's tourism industry brings billions of dollars each year into our economy. With cancellations and rescheduling of events, what does that mean for our state? Our Alyssa Donovan got some answers.
Visitors spent a record $13.2 billion here in Indiana last year. That came in the form of restaurant spending, shopping, entertainment, and hotels. So what do we do since we haven't had that income coming to our state? Well, I spoke with an expert about the impact on our economy. According to Jill Gonzalez, an analyst with Wallet Hub, Indiana is one of the luckier states when it comes to the impact of COVID-19 on tourism. The reason? Are other industries which are still vital and running right now. While some states like Florida, Nevada, and Hawaii depend significantly on tourism to keep their states running.
So again, one of the silver linings here, at least for this industry, is that the Midwest is not too largely affected. Most of the states there are in the bottom 10, and this is a list where you're actually happy to be in the bottom 10.
And the cancellation of the Big Ten tournament and the NCAA tournament, we've lost out on tens of millions of dollars that would be typically coming in to Indiana's tourism industry. But the good news is, since we don't depend on tourism as much as other states, the hope is we'll have a quicker recovery. I'm Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. The time right now is 5:37. The pandemic is not stopping one farmer's market from offering fresh local produce. The Fisher's Farmers Market is going to offer online ordering starting this Sunday at 9 a.m. They'll take a maximum of 400 orders per week, 100 for home delivery, 300 for on-site pickup. Shoppers can pick up their orders at Holland Park the following Saturday between 8 a.m. and noon. To maintain social distancing, park staff will load the items into the trunk of your vehicle. The online system is set to be in place through the end of May.
There's Dylan, who is just south of where we find ourselves right now, down in Center Grove. So many of his neighbors and his classmates' neighbors were homebound, and so they're doing home deliveries. They even have a website where you can go and check what you may need, featuring local businesses.
Well, you know you're doing something good for your community when you get a special shout out from the governor of Indiana during his daily press conferences. Dylan Godsave is a graduating senior at Center Grove High School, but he is wise beyond his years. Here at RTV6, part of our mission is We're Open Indy, showcasing local businesses that are still open to serve you during this pandemic. And Dylan is doing that on another scale by connecting people in need with his classmates who can help them, all while supporting local businesses during this COVID-19 pandemic. Loading and unloading, shopping with purpose, and delivering to our neighbors in need. That's the goal of newly created business, Southside Delivers.
And there's really a huge need for this, as we found out.
Dylan Godsave is like many high school seniors right now, out of school and missing those special end-of-the-year traditions. But rather than focusing on what he doesn't have, he's focusing on what he does. And that's coding skills, business know-how, friends who can help him, and the motivation to serve others.
I think that all of us are just in it to help people, and we are not looking to make money. Our goal is just to use our resources to help these people in need.
Dylan created the site called Southside Delivers. It's a local grocery delivery service currently serving people in need in most of the Center Grove School District. The service is free, and that's all thanks to the other side of Southside Delivers, where he promotes local businesses in the area. Not only does Southside Delivers connect people in need with eager young volunteers to do their grocery shopping, the site also features products made by local shops.
Kind of reached out to them to see what we can do to help, and so from there, that's when we started loading on some of their products to our site.
Like Coffee Connection, a local apparel store selling CG spirit wear and quarantine clothing, and his own business venture, Casual Cosmetics. Southside Delivers partners people in need with businesses needing support and healthy young volunteers who are prepared and trained to deliver those goods in a safe way.
The day of our launch, we had 77 deliveries that we did, over 300 people on our site.
And that number continues to climb. And Dylan plans to attend Vancouver Film School next year with the hopes of maybe living out in LA or Vancouver, working on TV shows. But for now, he's supporting his local school community of Center Grove. If you'd like to order from Southside Delivers, or maybe you're a student and you want to volunteer, or maybe you're a local business that's open and you want to partner with them, we posted everything you need to know on our website, theindychannel.com. Just click on this story. All right, it is 5:40, and Todd, we're talking about We're Open Indy, and it is time for Takeout Tuesday, looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. It's that time of the day and that time of the morning. Maybe you're thinking about dinner already. And We're Open is a partnership with local restaurants and RTV6 to let you know about businesses that are open. And today for my Takeout Tuesday forecast, I am going to take you south down to Bloomington to Smokeworks and Social Cantina. It's right on the square in Bloomington. They are right next to each other. They're actually connected. So some of your family wants Mexican, some of your family wants a barbecue. You are in the perfect situation. My top takes, the Dixie two-step tray there at Smokeworks. I've had it. It's terrific. The El Matador Bowl over at Social Cantina. And everybody likes a margarita probably at this point. And they sell social margarita kits that you can take home and make your own margarita. So if you're in the Bloomington area, you want to support them, great businesses there. And of course, support all the businesses here in central Indiana on this Takeout Tuesday. Mostly sunny skies today. It's a little cool and breezy, but a high today, Lauren, right around 54 degrees.
All right, that sounds good, Todd. Thank you so much. The number of coronavirus cases and deaths continues to climb in the U.S., but we're starting to hear some more incredible recovery stories. Coming up, we're sharing just a few of those, including the story of one man who was on a ventilator for more than 2 weeks. And the Indiana Supreme Court is making sure that Hoosiers have access to their stimulus funds regardless of their debt obligations. Coming up, the details on the new ruling meant to protect your money. It is 5:42. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Take good care of each other.
Welcome back. Thousands of Americans are now home from the hospital after beating the coronavirus, including a young athlete from New Jersey and a woman in Louisiana who was discharged in New Orleans style. ABC's Mona Kosar Abdi has the details.
This morning, new numbers show more than 76,000 people have now recovered from the coronavirus in the U.S., including a young standout athlete from New Jersey. Jack Allard is a former All-American lacrosse player who was placed in a medically induced coma 1 month ago when his mother said he had no pre-existing conditions.
He never vaped. They were asking us that. He never vaped. He never smoked. I mean, he took his health very seriously. I mean, he's an athlete.
This morning, Jack is finally home on the road to recovery. In Maryland, the father of a college football star, Ellis McKinney, was released from the hospital to a thundering applause after he beat the virus. In New Hampshire, nurses discharged this patient to the song, "Here Comes the Sun." After 16 days in the hospital and needing a ventilator to breathe, he was finally able to hug his family for the first time since his diagnosis. A similar scene in New Orleans, nurses and doctors cheering and music filling the hallways as one hospital group released its 1,500th coronavirus patient. After 12 days on a ventilator, Kathleen Bennett left the hospital in true New Orleans style while listening to When the Saints Go Marching In. Mona Kosarabdi, ABC News, New York.
Always good to have some good news there. Well, back here at home in Indiana, the Supreme Court has ruled Monday that creditors cannot seize Hoosier's stimulus payments. The ruling also says lower courts may not issue new holds, attachments, or garnishments that cover funds and bank accounts that stimulus payments were sent to. The only exceptions are for back child support payments. Lower courts have also been ordered to treat requests by account holders as urgent. This will allow the courts to determine whether any CARES Act payments are in the account and those funds are protected from the attachment or garnishment. At 5:48, let's check in with Todd and see what are our chances for rain. Todd?
You know, today we're in the clear. Tomorrow we're in the clear, Lauren, as you see here behind me. But once we get to Thursday, we're going to bring this up to a high chance of rain. Thursday has the potential to be a fairly wet day. And then Friday, there'll be times during the day when it's fairly wet. It's probably not as widespread as it's going to be on Thursday. But that's kind of a little preview of what's ahead. Let's dive into the forecast for today and tomorrow, though, because those are 2 days you'll be able to get out and about. Temperatures this morning, 40s and 50s. Not bad for this time of morning, for this time of year at 5:48 at 53 degrees. The problem is this is a cold front that's coming through the area right now. So these temperatures that you see right now are probably going to drop about 10 degrees before they start to warm up a little bit this afternoon back into the 50s. So a little bit odd temperature trend here throughout the day today, but the front is going through pretty quiet. There were a few sprinkles on Storm Team 6 radar earlier. They are moving through, but you do notice this band of cloud cover. This is the actual front that's passing through right now, and this cold front will continue to make its way off towards the east, and as it goes through, it'll take the clouds with it, and we'll be into plenty of sunshine by the time the sun comes up here right around 7 o'clock in the morning. That's official sunrise. Of course, the skies, they'll start to brighten a little bit before that. Clear skies off to our west. We'll enjoy that sunshine throughout the day today and into tomorrow. Temperatures today, as I mentioned, we've already hit our highs. We'll get back up to about 47 degrees by the noon hour, and then eventually a high temperature today right around 54 degrees for your afternoon high temperature this evening. It'll cool off quickly once that sun sets, so if you are out and about, just know that sunset's at 8:30. Once that happens, we'll quickly drop into the 40s, so have the jacket handy if you're doing that walk through the neighborhood after dinner tonight. Tomorrow we turn the winds southerly, and that takes the temperatures all the way back up into the 60s tomorrow afternoon. In fact, some locations tomorrow could be pushing that 70-degree mark across the area with clouds that'll start to increase throughout the afternoon hours. And as you look at TrueCast, here is Thursday, and you see a lot of green on the map, and that is going to be the rain that'll be making its way through the area at times Thursday. We get a little bit of a break the first half of the day Friday, and then another round of rain moves in Friday afternoon and into the day on Saturday. Saturday, a few thunderstorms will be possible, And then as we work our way into the second half of the weekend, it will be a little bit cooler. So today and tomorrow, Lauren, the two brightest days with full sunshine. And then it gets a little unsettled with numerous rain chances that'll be heading our way.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. The pandemic is changing how we say goodbye to our loved ones. Families can no longer gather for those more traditional funeral services. The Funeral Consumers Alliance says that doesn't mean we can't grieve. You may be able to do a virtual memorial service online. Family and friends can share through pictures or homemade crafts to honor their loved ones. You can also wait until safer times. Think of it as a spring burial. Those are common in New England, where families wait until the winter is over because the ground is no longer frozen.
Do not deprive yourself of the opportunity to remember somebody the way you want simply because you can't have your first choice. Second choices are second choices, but they're better than no choices.
Although hotspots are experiencing a temporary spike, the FCA says that funeral homes on a national level will not be overrun. As stay-at-home orders across the country continue, folks are looking for ways to stay entertained. This morning, how one furniture giant is giving you a tasty idea to prevent boredom. Plus, the NFL draft will be held virtually this year, but you can still watch players' dreams come true. It's right here on RTV6. Watch the first round of the draft starting on Thursday night at 8 o'clock. The time right now is 5:52. Stick around. We'll be right back. The time right now is 5:55 on your Tuesday. Good morning to you. Here is a live look at I-465 near Man Road on the southwest side. You can see quite a few headlights at this early hour. Traffic is picking up both eastbound and westbound here on the southwest side. Traffic is traveling up to speed. IKEA customers craving those Swedish meatballs and food from its cafeteria are in for a real treat. The franchise is revealing the recipe for its meatballs. It's out in a tweet from the UK branch, and the recipe lists just a few ingredients. They're fairly common items. And in true IKEA style, it comes with illustrated instructions. Todd, I could go for some meatballs right now. I could really go for anything. I don't know why. I am hungry on this Tuesday.
You know, I didn't see it there, but we just did our Takeout Tuesday forecast down in Bloomington for Smokeworks and Socials Cantina. So we've had barbecue so far this morning. We've had Mexican and now Swedish meatballs. So, yeah, I'm hungry as well. All right, outside right now, temperatures are in the process of dropping. You notice Logansport 43. That's a good indication where most of us are going to get this morning as we drop into the 40s as this cold front continues to work its way through the area. You notice a few specks there on Storm Team 6 radar in the center of your screen. Those were a few spotty showers, didn't mount to anything more than a sprinkle in some of your neighborhoods. But temperatures will all drop into the 40s this morning, then rebound back up. It's around 54 degrees later on this afternoon. Despite it being a little cooler than yesterday, and there's going to be a cool northwesterly breeze, today still features lots of sunshine. So while you'll need to have the jacket, you'll also need to carry those sunglasses around, Lauren, as well, as we'll continue to see the sunshine from start to finish throughout the day today.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Hoosiers are resilient, and that's no different during this pandemic. All new at 6 o'clock, our Rafael Sanchez is looking at how Indiana businesses are planning to rebound once this pandemic is over. It is 5:57 on your Tuesday. Stick around. We'll be right back.